Here's another view of the installation on the oil pressure sender here. Let's see if I can get a little light in here. I wired it and covered the wire and got it all hooked up. Well, except for back here where I've got some difficulties in the how close everything is to the clutch cable and the clutch arm. I've got some wire zip ties there holding everything together, but I've got to build something to pull it away from the clutch arm and the bell housing. So I've got 3 cables. There's choke, throttle, and the sending, the hose for the oil pressure sending hose. And then that purple wire is to the, I just got it in there just now. I just threw it through that grommet. I took it out. It's a rubber grommet, and took that out temporarily to see if I can fit one more wire in here. It would have been a lot easier to do this if I did it while I was wiring the car originally without the motor in here. That's that convoluted wire loom there. It's a split loom, usually on more modern cars, but I didn't really want to use it in here, but it just seems to be the most ideal thing to use, especially when you do modifications like this. If I wrapped this wire up, I'd be in trouble right now, or I would just, lay it to the side of this, because I was thinking about doing that, because I've got to cut all these zip ties. But sometimes I use modern things that I guess weren't used back in the day, just because it just makes things a little easier. So anyways, the water temp that I'm adding now is, I don't know if you can see it in this view. Let's see if I can point it out. Guess not, maybe. This side. Anyways, I think I can do it. I can feel it, but I can't see it on the camera, but maybe you guys can see it. There it is. So there's the temp sender. I drilled a hole in the thermostat housing and put the sender in it. It's been in there for quite a while. I just haven't hooked it up. So let's have a look at it from the other side, because the wiring on it is, obviously the factory didn't do it this way. Oh, here's the factory one, which I have hooked up right here, and I got tired of having the wire through here, and it would get brittle after a long time, right? So and then as just a bunch of wires here, so I routed it up in the front here along with the distributor wires, and I put it in this plug. I get this from an Audi or a VW, and it's pretty modern looking, but it just makes things so much easier. It's always something you can change and cut off. It's not permanent, but for now it seems to be working okay. Just doesn't look period correct, kind of. So on this side is the thermostat housing oil temp sender. And the wire comes down like this. I was going to feed it into this wire. Alright, this is the other piece of the housing that goes to the distributor, and I was going to kind of, try to fit it in here, but it's already just so full of wires. So as this wire passes down right above the starter there, I was going to try to fit it right in here. again, you know, it's just so much better to plan all this out when I was building the car, but I wasn't ready to put gauges in and thought I could get by. The reason for the gauges right now is just, you know, I've had so many, you know, concerns with cooling, and I don't know exactly what my oil pressure's doing all the time, so I'm just, you know, it's always nice to know with a gauge, you know, what you have, especially on a modified car like this. So I'm going to continue working on trying to get this wired up as best I can.